Hello, my friends. Brian King here. Voice is almost back now. I was reflecting on this past week as I, like many, got hit with one hell of a respiratory bug. I will spare you the graphic things that happened. I'm sure you can eh, relate to them yourself or somebody else that's recently gone through it. And one thing that I make a point of with all the different challenges I have is to make sure that I see these experiences where I get knocked down as an opportunity to learn something, to reflect. I call my EDS, my ADHD, the Asperger's, I call them teachers. Because what I want to see them for is somebody that's going to challenge me to grow, something that's going to challenge me to reflect, as opposed to something that's being done to me, something that's victimizing me or robbing me of something that I deserve. And you see that very different approach in that way I'm languaging that. Well, one thing that was interesting, and this is one of the beauties of current technology, emailing and texting, is that even though I was sick as a dog, I could still reach out to my clients and say, how you doing? I could still be supportive. So when you're sick, it requires you to be resourceful. Because there are some people that just say, oh man, this sucks, I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, what can you do? And I'm not talking about staying up all night texting or being on Facebook. I'm talking about when you're having a few minutes where you feel real good, why not do something with it? You can be grateful and say, man, so glad I don't feel nauseous right now. Or I'm glad that the popsicle that I just ate made my coughing subside a little bit. But when you're feeling good, how can you share the good? So there was one client of mine in particular who was dealing with pneumonia. She had it worse than I did. And I saw her continuing to post, continuing to put herself out there. And, I got a little bump from her. Saying, man, she's such a go-getter. She is knocked down for the count, and look what she's doing. She's still contributing. And so I reached out to her and said, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? And I learned about the ins and outs of what she was dealing with, and it was some serious stuff. So her and I both turned that into a lesson about self-care. And yeah, we're not doing as much as we possibly could do. We're not doing as much as we're used to. But how do we, instead of feeling bad about it, which is a tendency, when you're a giver, there's a tendency to think, man, I should be giving more, I should be doing more. But then you have this opportunity called being sick to look at your self-care regimen and to give back to you for once. So in a way, her and I supported each other in making sure that we were doing the self-care that we needed to do and made sure that we had some ideas in place for how to continue the self-care once we were feeling better. Because self-care is something that we need to do anyway, and it's so easy to get burned out when you're going, and nothing seems to be stopping us. So I think her and I both learned some important things, and not only just because when you're sick and you're laying around that much, there's very little else to do besides reflect, to go inward. And we also have the benefit of texting, which allowed us to reach out and support each other. So the biggest lesson, as I mentioned, is self-care. I'm learning the value of putting myself in situations throughout the day where I feel more relaxed. Because what I would typically do is sit in front of my desk, which I'm doing now. My legs are not elevated. So I would wait until they were so sore that I couldn't sit here anymore. Then I would go to the recliner. Well, but then by that time, I'm usually exhausted, don't want to do anything. Or, as I've mentioned in previous videos, it's exhausting to hold my body up because of the EDS. Always fighting to stabilize my spine, so I get back spasms throughout the day. And I can exhaust myself just from sitting up all day. So yesterday I decided to try an experiment. I wanted to see how much I could do from my iPad. And the cool thing was, I could do everything I needed to from my iPad. So I spent the day in my recliner, my legs elevated, my puppies, of course, came and sat all around me. They were so happy. And having them there helped calm me and made me feel not so alone, because the kids are off to school, my wife is at work, and being an entrepreneur working from home can feel lonely. So I had the camaraderie of my puppies and the rest of the animals, and I had my iPad, I had my legs up, and I leaned back a little bit, my body was supported, no back spasms, no getting exhausted. I was so flippin' productive because I took care of myself more. I wasn't sitting up and forcing my body to stay erect while I was working. So many things have come from this being tuned into my body more because of being so under the weather that I had to really pay attention to it and say, can I rest here? Can I take a quick nap? How will I feel? When I do wake up, hey, I feel pretty good. I wonder what I can do now. Go through my to-do list, go through my daily plan, and execute what I can. So I was able to do a lot more this time around while I was sick because I made a point of taking care of myself better, as opposed to fighting it and trying to work so many more hours. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Renee. Sitting is the worst thing for our body. See, my problem is I can't walk a whole lot because of my EDS. My legs are getting more and more unstable. But one thing I discovered, which is really cool, is on YouTube, there are these series of videos for exercise routines for people that are disabled. So if you're in a wheelchair or if you're just elderly and use a walker and you can't stand for very long, there are these exercises to keep you limber and keep your muscles moving. So although I do have to sit a lot, there are ways I can still keep my body centered and so on. And I will definitely be doing those exercises every day. They're very, very cool. So, long story short, being sick isn't a punishment. It isn't a sign of weakness. It isn't something that you need to push through and show how tough you are. It's an education, okay? It is an opportunity to reflect. Listen to what your body's telling you. Listen to what it needs. Give it what it needs so that it can return the favor. It's all about balance, folks. And then, what about sitting alone with exercise balls? Again, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I don't know before you jumped on here, I have a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And my ligaments and my tendons are very, very slack. So it's easy for things to slip out of joint. My muscles are in spasms throughout my body, especially my back and my legs, as they work all day to stabilize my joints. So exhaustion and injury are very, very common. I've even started to fall. I do know that there are some people that will recommend exercise balls and other lighter exercises to try and keep the muscles strong, to stabilize certain things. I've tried it, and it doesn't really work too much. Certain things that work for a lot of people don't work for all of us. However, like I said, I discovered those videos on YouTube that allow me to exercise while sitting, and dadgummit, I'm going to do those because they seemed pretty simple while they were happening, but I was actually a little sore afterwards, and I wasn't even using weights. So that tells me how much I need to be using my body more, and I can use it in a way that's not going to injure me. And that's what I've been looking for. It's light enough to not hurt me, but it's demanding enough to matter, to give me some kind of benefit. So I'm going to start doing those. In fact, I think I'm going to do them now. So that's just my 2 cents on the value of being sick and what you can learn from it. I hope this has been helpful. If you know anybody who's sick, and you probably know a lot of them, one of them might even be you, feel free to share this video because they might find some value in it. Thank you very much for stopping by, everybody. I really appreciate it. This is Brian. We'll talk to you soon.